Bitcoin is about to have a legendary golden cross, the first in a very long time, but it's not exactly what you think it is. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know, including some red flags. Welcome in if you're new. My name is Steve. Hit that subscribe button. We're going to be jumping into this chart and the most critical charts right now with the latest updates. But I wanted to ask you, did you know that 8 out of 10 people watching this video right now, 80% of the people watching this video right now, in order to survive when you get old, you're either going to have to collect money from the government just to survive when you're old, or you're still going to have to be working just to survive when you're old. Let that sink in. 80% of the people watching it. That's why for over a year, I've been in the lab working around the clock with my team on the world's first platform that combines crypto and financial freedom. We haven't opened the doors in a while. People have been begging for us to open the doors. So we're going to open the doors tomorrow, January 24th, to a very small exclusive group. If you're on our email list, watch for that email. January 24th, students will have first dibs, and then everyone on the email list. But just a warning, we only opened the doors one time before, and it filled up incredibly quick, and tomorrow will be literally the second time. People have been begging for it. Make sure you're on that email and you check it. If you're not on our email list, just go to cryptocrewuniversity.com, jump in time. But I've been studying financial freedom even longer than the charts, and I've been studying charts for over 20 years. So this is something that will change your life. You don't want to be in the 80% that literally have to survive on government money or working when they're old just to continue living. That's no way to live. Let's get back into the video here. What we've got here, we're going to cover this golden cross that's coming. You can see we're going to tell you when it's projected to come, but let's be honest, we haven't had a golden cross in a very, very, very long time. You got to go back quite a while. So what does this golden cross mean? And we're going to talk about some things happening here in the past couple weeks that's a little point of concern. And then we're going to be jumping into not one, not two, not three, but 4 other charts with the latest and greatest. So I hope you're buckled up. Let's start with this golden cross. So first and foremost, what is a golden cross? If you followed our channel, we've been covering golden crosses and death crosses. We may have been the first channel to ever cover it back in 2017, 2018. And since then, we've been covering all of them because they're big momentum shifts. It's when this green line crosses through the red line, or when the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average, right? So we're on the 1-day chart, and you can see that right now, as we stand, our green line is actually starting to rise, and it's actually starting to rise pretty rapidly, and it's starting to rise towards a cross fairly rapidly. Luckily for my students, they have this special indicator that projects out when it's going to happen. They have that indicator for free, actually. Now, as we continue, we can look back at some previous golden crosses just to get a gauge of what was the importance of it, right? So if we go back to the 20K top, right, we had a death cross here, and then we had this enormous period where there was no action, and our green line was just literally falling off a cliff. Then we started to turn a corner. Then we started to rally up towards this red line, and we had this golden cross back here when prices were at about 4,800, and we rallied from 4,008 up to 14,000, right? So these golden crosses are really, really, really important, right? We can go back to the previous one in 2015 when we had a golden cross here at a price of about 300, and we rallied from 300 to 20,000. And you can see, since we had this golden cross in 2015, it's not like we were going from golden cross to death cross to golden cross to death cross. It was golden cross and then bull run for the entire length of the bull cycle. Now, you remember, we had this COVID crash 2020. Right after the COVID crash, we finally had that golden cross here in May, and prices were roughly about 9K. So we went from 9K to almost $69,000. So these golden crosses are legendary. Is this golden cross going to be as legendary? That is up for debate, and we're going to discuss all the facts and the charts right now. And you may be wondering, well, when is this golden cross projected to happen? What is that date that we're looking at? Because it hasn't happened yet. It's coming full steam ahead. But now that we've got some facts and the charts covered, and by the way, if you're new here, we just cover the facts. We cover straight facts. That's why you've just subscribed. And by the way, last week I asked a question and I couldn't believe all of the feedback that I got. But it's about, should I take sponsored ads or not? I'm going to be giving an update on that at the end of the video, but thousands and thousands of people commented and sent in their ideas, and I got a tough decision to make, but I'm going to lay it out at the end of the video. So facts in the charts, what we've got at the same time that the golden cross is coming, we got a couple red flags happening. Not major, but look at here. We made a high of this price of about 21.3K, and then we made a higher high, right? Which is good. A high and a higher high, we got to love it. However, our indicator, our RSI, made a high and a lower high. So we've got some bearish divergence happening in the short term, right? It's not major bearish divergence. It's not like what we were pointing out for months and months. We had this bullish divergence forming. It's not that. It's not months and months. It's a week, right? So we've got to keep that in mind, because also the ADX and DI, you can see that our green line here made a high and then our next one made a lower high. So our indicators are all aligned that this little pivot of about 1 week, this little push higher in prices could have some red flags. And I'll tell you why, right? Back here in the months prior, we were covering this bullish divergence that was forming. And back when we were at about 16K, we said, look, if this bullish divergence breaks and if we break out of this 2-year trend line, right? We were in this 2-year trend line having resistance for literally 2 years. And if we broke to the upside, that means our bullish divergence would have broken to the upside, and that would have been a lot of momentum into the market. And we said, look, don't be surprised if we rally up to this red line. Why this red line? Is this some random line? Absolutely not. It's the most critical line of every single bear market we've ever had in the history of Bitcoin. Case in point, 2018, red line, support. Case in point, 2020, COVID crash, red line, support. Case in point, 2015, boom, bottom 1, support, boom, bottom 2, support. This red line is the most critical line in Bitcoin. Case in point, every single bear market in the history of Bitcoin. So right now, this is our resistance, unfortunately. What usually happens, especially when you got some bullishness coming to the market, you rally up to where your resistance point was, right? This is going to be the main case. Eventually, Bitcoin will get over this line. But we have to see how we're going to play with it in the interim. And you can never get too excited on the way up, and you can never get too depressed on the way down. That's what the herd is doing. Do not do what the herd is doing. Stay level-headed. You know, Bitcoin could see some trouble at this red line. That's fine. We're eventually going to pass this red line. It's only in the interim, right? So we understand that, okay, in the very, very short term, you know, we've got this golden cross that's coming. We've got this divergence that's forming. I'm going to come back and tell you the date of this golden cross in a moment, as well as give you to my 2 cents on what I think is going to happen. But let's cover some more facts so we lay out a crystal clear picture. Now we're starting to paint this puzzle, right? And again, if you followed our channel back here in November 28th, we had this cross of the stochastic RSI on the weekly. That's a bullish move in Bitcoin. It happens about every 6 months. 6 months prior, we had one. Prices rallied about 50%. 6 months prior to that, we had one. Prices rallied a good bit. 6 months prior to that, we had one. Prices rose quite a bit, right? Every 6 months, we have one of these crosses, which brings momentum into the market. And we warned everybody back then, as well as covering the bullish divergence. But we did have this 2-year trend line that was very powerful. That's why you see so much bullishness coming into the market. This was a pressure cooker, plain and simple. Now, we covered this one as well. We've got this blue buy button on the weekly for the hash ribbons. And case in point, look at the past couple of years. Every time we've had one of these blue dots, we've rallied, 300%, 48% in 2019, 850% in 2020. 70% 2021. And so far, here we are, right? So this is still relatively fresh if you're looking at the big picture, but there is some problems ahead. We'll call them short-term problems, but I just want you to be prepared that things could take a turn, right? We have been bullish. Bitcoin has gone on a very nice rally. They could take a turn to surprise everybody. Bitcoin loves to surprise everybody, and this would be the icing on the cake of surprises. This would be a very large surprise, right? So if you look at when this yellow line crosses the red line, right? Back in 2015, we've been comparing the fractal patterns of today to 2015 week after week, month after month during this entire bear market. And it really, really lines up. Look at here, 2015, we had a cross, and then we had 1, 2, 3 denials of the yellow line. Why is that important? 2022, we had a cross, 1, 2, 3 points of rejection from this yellow line. After these 3 points of rejection, we broke through. We broke through in a major way. We went on a huge tear. You know, back here in 2015, it was about 44%. And from today, we're at about 50%. So it's pound for pound to the T what's happened back in 2015. But what followed is after this bullish rally, you know, everybody is relatively excited. And then the market crashes. The market crashes to retest its base, to retest its bottom, right? And this is when everyone starts freaking out and they say, see, I told you it's going to be devastating. We're going to go way, way down. It's going to be horrific. Bitcoin likes to surprise everybody, and people may be getting a little bit too bullish at the moment. I want you to stay level-headed because this is a legitimate case, right? These are some facts on the charts that say, look, Bitcoin might surprise everybody and go down to retest its base. It's not only here, but also in this one, the CM super guppy, right? So we had this beautiful green channel happening. When we broke this beautiful green channel, we went into this gray area. You can see over here, this is 2015. And over here, this is 2020. We'll go ahead and put 2015 up here. We'll go ahead and put 2020 up here so everybody is clear. But you can see this gray period lasted quite a while, right? And then we went into this red period with a little bit of orange on the bottom. We went into this red period in 2015 with a little bit of orange on the bottom. What happened was we got into this period where the market bottomed, and then we moved into this orange level, which we did here in 2022. And after that orange level, we had a little bit of a correction and then just a power move into the red. So this is the first time we've touched into the red literally in years. And the same in 2015, right? We were never in the red, and we were just in the red a short time during this major rally. So that's what we're in right now. And if we plummet in prices, we cannot be surprised. We should actually be relatively happy because everybody is going to turn. I mean, they're all really crazy bearish in the big picture. Everybody on planet Earth is saying 2023 is going to be an incredibly strong recession, which it may be. I like to be on the other side of the fence. I would like to bet that Bitcoin is going to start a bull run in 2023. That it's not going to be the level of recession that everybody's calling for, and that the markets will surprise everybody. But literally every single expert in the global financial economy is saying 2023 is going to be a horrific year. But again, I'm comfortable on the other side of the fence. I don't like to play by the rules of the herd. So that's my stance. And I like to go based on the facts and the charts. There's just so many facts coming into Bitcoin that's saying the bull run will start in 2023. I could be way off, but that's where I stand. Now let's make sense of it. And by the way, I'm going to give an update again on the ads versus don't take ads versus yes. I know there was just a tremendous amount of support. I'll give an update on that in a moment. But first, let me give my opinion on the market. Short term, I think really pay attention to this bearish divergence. Really pay attention over the coming days to coming weeks and really key in on one line and one line only, this red line here, which is currently priced at just under 25K. I want you to also pay attention to these charts, which could play out in terms of a little bearish push to retest our bottom. That could very well play out. But again, I think in the big picture, Bitcoin is in a good spot. These golden crosses don't come often, and it's projected to happen on February 7th right now. Keep in mind, these are moving averages and we're on the daily. These things change very, very frequently based on the price movement of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts dropping in prices, this date will move out further. If Bitcoin keeps rising, this date will be sooner. It's very, very simple. It's projected on February 7th right now. And, this is a time to really hunker down. This is a bear market. We're not out of the woods yet, but this is a time to really invest in Bitcoin for your future. All right. I've always said, even when we were back at 16,000, 17,000, 18,000, I said nonstop, it's more risky to be out of Bitcoin than in Bitcoin. I said it repeatedly, and still it fell on deaf ears, some, although the high majority of people listened. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to the ads, because this is a time when you guys, let me paint the picture, right? We've been on YouTube for 5 years, over 5 years. We've never taken a paid ad, not even 1 cent. And we've got thrown a lot of money, stupid money, silly money, a lot of crazy money. We might be the only humans on YouTube not to take money from FTX. And over the years, there's been ridiculous money from all sorts of people, similar to FTX, that we've said no to literally every single human. As I took a step back and looked at the landscape of YouTube, not just in crypto, but every single podcast on YouTube has paid ads, even the folks that have their own brand. So we have our own brand, we have our own company, we have our own courses. A lot of people have that and they still take paid ads. And then you look at the biggest YouTubers, not in crypto, on YouTube, people with 5 million subscribers, 10 million subscribers, 15, 20 million subscribers. They're all taking paid ads. Even if they have their own product, they're taking paid ads. And you ask yourself why, and you start to dig into it more. There's just way more money in paid ads. So even people that have their own product or service or company, there's just way more money that they can make with paid ads. So then I posed the question to the community. Look, I'm going to be open and honest forever. We've never taken a paid ad, but I'm thinking about it, because we're not a big YouTube channel, right? We have, less than 300,000 subscribers. People with 10, 20, 30 times more subscribers than me are taking paid ads. It starts to wake you up a bit, because that's where the money is, plain and simple, right? And I posed a question to you and our audience of, what should I do with this ads? And then the second question was, should I promote my courses more? Because, we don't do that very often. And I wanted some honest opinions. I read all the comments. There's thousands of people that replied, and I've sat down, I've really thought about it. And where do I stand? I'm not going to take paid ads. F the paid ads. And the reason why, it comes down to, this is who I am. I'm not going to feel comfortable taking money, especially in crypto. It's always so dirty, and you never know who's who. I know who I am, and I know what my courses do, and I'll only promote that because I built those with my 2 hands. That's 20 plus years of experience of blood, sweat, and tears, and I know my courses changed life. I don't know what these other companies are doing. And even if I did, even if it's something that I liked and I used all the time, I just don't feel right about it because it's not mine, and I still don't know who they are behind closed doors. And then they're going to want me to promote a certain way in a certain number of way. And then there's a lot of platforms that will give me a bunch of fake money to trade and to do live trades with you guys and get you guys to sign up. That's where the real crazy money is. I mean, stupid money. I'm just not going to take it. I'm not going to take a dime of it. Ever. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stand by what I believe in, and what I believe in is being honest and true and only promoting things that I know for a fact change lives. If it doesn't change lives and I didn't build it with my hands, I'm not going to promote it. I don't care who it is and how much money they're throwing at me. So that's where I stand. And I know recently I saw a video from Pump. Shout out to Pump. It sounds to me like he was taking paid ads for some time, maybe FTX and some others, and now he's going to walk away from paid ads. So I really support people like that. I think Benjamin Cohen is another one who we've had on the channel a few times. We actually inspired him not to take paid ads. He used to watch our channel way back when he was in graduate school. So, people like that, I really support. We haven't taken paid ads in the 5 years on YouTube, and we're not going to start now. And, about the courses, I want to be able to speak from the heart about my courses. We don't have many sales per year. I want to be able to talk from the heart because it would be unfair not to talk about something that's actually helping people in crypto. Plain and simple. There's not a lot of things that really help people in crypto, that really watch out for the little guy, that really have their back. I know all the mistakes you're making. Why? Because when I started trading over 20 years ago, I made all of them. I literally made all of them. It was such a headache. It was so hard. Year after year, I just struggled. I got beat over the head. I know how to have you avoid all of that. I know how to do it because I was you, plain and simple. So I'm going to promote the courses whenever the hell I want, and I hope you guys support that. It's not going to be very often, but when I do, it's from the heart, and you can trust that because if you watch my channel, if there's one thing that's a real certainty is that I speak the truth, and that's it. My words are not paid for. So that's where I stand. It's a tough decision, but at the end of the day, it became really, really clear, and I thank you all for your support. There was thousands of comments. I didn't expect that, but that was super cool. A lot of people were like, Steve, I'm going to promote. I'll stand by your side no matter what the hell you promote because I trust you and your integrity. And most people supported, do whatever you want, and I'll support it. And I know a lot of people were saying to take the money and to take the ads, but I'm just not going to do it. And I hope you guys stand behind it. And thank you for your continued support. And I'll see you right back here in the next video. Peace and love to the fellow underdogs. Is money that thing that always stresses you out? You're living paycheck to paycheck to paycheck, but you don't know how to get out of that rut. Worry no more. I'm launching the Financial Freedom Academy, a 7-step program that's going to get you towards financial freedom. All of our professors have graduated from my courses. This will change your life. Coming soon, there's only going to be limited seats.